Greetings YouTube. Today we're looking at a Parker Imai. I think I'm saying that right because it's I-M-A-I, so I think it's Imai. This is a vintage knife and it came to me in this leather sheath. I got this for nothing because being a knife guy, people find out you're a knife guy and they just give you knives. And someone at work was packing up because they were moving. And their husband's like, this has been in a drawer for 35 years. You know anybody who wants it? And she brought it to work. His wife brought it to work and gave it to me. So the sheath is in excellent condition. I don't know how often this was worn or carried, but has almost no wear on it. Really, seriously, it's in really fine shape. Nice big snap. And then we pull the knife out. And you do notice right off the bat there's a green patina here, which is a problem of storing knives with brass inside of leather sheaths. You do get that issue. If you treat them with wax, that can cut down on it, but there really isn't a 100% way of avoiding that. And if it's been sitting in the drawer for 35 years, it's in pretty darn good shape. Now I say that, and one of the first things you're going to notice is that there's a wonderful carving of a stag on here. I don't know if that's carving or printed. I think it's probably just printed on there. I think it's quite attractive for this kind of, this genre of knife, like the hunting vibe going on there. I think that's fairly well done. It's, realistic looking. It looks like a stag. But saying it's in pretty good shape, somebody put this way too close to a fire and burnt this scale. Yeah. Pity about that. I mean, it looks like this was actual stag, proper stag, but it looks like also that it was burned because this pin is sitting far more proud than the other pins are sitting. And it looks, yeah, it was burned. Maybe it was laid on a hot object, who knows. But you can look at this and you can see that this is a right up in the same school, the same wheelhouse rather, of the Buck 110, a classic lockback design. Look at that. That spine right there looks really good, even considering its age and everything. That's a really nice shiny. That stayed very nice looking, even if the rest of it is in slightly rough, because this was carried and it was used, obviously. So we're going to open it all the way up. It's a little rough. Again, it's been sitting in a drawer for 35 years. And then we go. I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but it's Parker Imai, and then it says surgical steel, and on this side it says K139, which is apparently the model number. Now, taking into account that this was damaged, the rest of the knife has really nice fit and finish on it. In particular, these pins here are very smooth. They fit right into the scale. These two are a little bit more proud, but they were well peened, so they're quite nice. And the pins that are in the brass are also very well done. The blade has seen some use. This was not the person who owned this. I'm not going to be mean, mentioning names. Did not care for this. I don't know if he did this or he got it like this, but it needs some love. It needs to be just plain old clean, like with soap and a light scouring pad or something, a scrubby pad. But then it also needs to be seriously sharpened. And this is not a style of knife that I carry. They're very heavy. It's a lockback design, so it really needs to be opened and closed with a finger nick. But actually, this is such a large blade, I don't even use it. I'm just grabbing it like this and opening it because it's quite comfortable to do that. But yeah, this is a two-handed opening knife, and that's not a style I carry. I prefer one-handed opening knives that I can flick open with a thumb or my forefinger, depending on whether they have a thumb stud or they are designed for with the spine flicker. So yeah, flipper rather. It is, however, a classic design, and I think it's a good example of that wheelhouse of the classic Buck 110, of the single blade kind of an outdoorsman's knife. Even if this was like a step above the much simpler Buck 110 as far as It's utilitarian. Often they had wood scales, but some did have bone jigging on them. They were available in different kinds of models. So I think that I'm glad this is in my collection, and I mean they did a nice job fitting that in there. You know what I mean? That's well fitted. They did a very solid effort to get everything to fit and finish very well, and it's just kind of sad that it was kind of abused by someone that didn't know what they were doing, didn't appreciate the knife that they had. But it's also a very comfortable knife. Everything is well rounded, big, obviously 4-fingered, full grip. This has just a very positive. There's no jimping on this. This is in an era of really when jimping wasn't a thing. I don't know when jimping became a thing in folding knives, but at this era, I don't really remember there being jimping on any kind of a knife. I own a couple of knives from the vintage knives from this era, and they don't seem to have any. But yeah, the kind of thing that you could definitely use for food prep at camp, or whittling fire sticks, or just preparing some kindling, things like that. General hunting and camping tasks. I don't know if you'd be doing any field dressing of game with this, maybe small game, but nothing probably much bigger than like a jackrabbit or something. Because it really doesn't, I mean, it's got some belly, but it's not going to, I would not call this a Skinner in any way, shape, or form. And it's really, yeah, not sharp at all. Oh yeah, that's kind of sad. Kind of breaks my heart. But yeah, this is a Parker Imai, and I do hope I am saying that correct, because again, I've never seen this brand before, this knife, and I don't know how to say it properly. I should have researched that while I was looking up the rest of the information. These are available, and I've seen them online in better shape than this. With the, like, for example, some of them have engraving here on the blade. I didn't see any that had the stuff done on the scale itself, but they seem to be in the $40 to $70 range as far as price goes. So it's not, I mean, it's not a hugely valuable knife. Obviously, this one's going to be less expensive because because it was put near a fire or put down on something hot. But yeah, overall, a really solid classic American knife style. I know that there are people that love this kind of thing, and if this is your vibe, this is a great example of that era and of that style. And if you want to get yourself one of these things, I think you'll be really happy if this is what you're into.